Today we're going to talk about how to write linear equations when we are given a point and a slope. Last time we talked about when we are given both the slope and the y-intercept and when we are given the graph, but every time we want to find the slope and the y-intercept. So remember y equals mx plus b. We are always going to fill in these two blanks to be able to write an equation in slope-intercept form. In this case, we are given a point and a slope, so we have the m, but we don't have the b, so we have to use this point to figure out b. So when we're given a point, we have x and y value, we have the slope of m, we can use this formula called point slope, where we do y minus the y value from our point equals m, and then parentheses x minus our x value from the point. This is called point slope form because we put our point and our slope in the equation and then we simplify. So setting this one up, we would do y minus our y value, which is -1, and it's always going to be y minus. So notice this is -1, y minus negative. I'm going to write both negatives, and then we know that if we have minus and negative, that turns into a plus. So y minus y1 equals m, which is our slope, of 2, parentheses x, minus our x value of the point, which is 4. Then we can just simplify this equation. So we distribute 2 times x and 2 times -4. On the other side, we keep our y plus 1. Our goal is to get y equals mx plus b, so I need to move this plus 1 so that it's just y equals. Remember, whenever we move something from the one side to the other in an equation, we do the opposite. So the opposite of plus 1 is -1, and y equals 2x minus 9. This is our final answer. We have the slope filled in of 2, and we found the y-intercept by plugging it into this point slope formula. Now make sure when we subtract this number or add this number, whatever we're doing, it is going with the constant. It does not have an x value, so we are not combining things that aren't alike. We have to make sure we only combine like terms. These two are constants. They don't have variables with them, so we can add them together. The other option, if you are confused by point slope form or you don't like point slope form, we can just plug it in to slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. But in this case, we are going to change the y, the m, and the x. All three of those pieces, we can plug it in. So it'd be like y1m x1 plus b, and then we have to solve for b. So I'll show you what that looks like. With the same problem, we're going to get the same answer. It's just another way to do it. So we're putting the y value of our point, still -1, equals m, which is 2, x1, which is our 4, and plus b. We don't know what b equals, so we have to solve this equation to figure out what b equals. We get -1 equals 8 plus b. Our goal is to figure out what b equals, so I need to move the 8 by doing the opposite, so we subtract 8. We get -9 equals b. Now that I have my b value, we can go back and I can write our y equals mx plus b, filling in the m and the b. And we know our m is 2. And now we found the b, which is -9. So I got the same answer as we did over here. It's just a different method of finding the equation. We can either use this point slope form where we just simplify. It's shorter steps, but it's a little bit more complicated to remember this formula. Or we can solve for b, a little bit more steps, but maybe it's easier for you to remember because we already know y equals mx plus b. So you guys can make the decision of which method you like. I will continue doing both methods in this video. So our next example, we have our slope, or our m, of 1/2. We have the point -6 and 2. So I'm going to label x and y. I'm going to start by doing the point slope form. Y minus our y value equals m times x minus our x value. Notice we have another minus negative. Whenever we have minus negative, it turns into a plus. I can distribute to get 1/2 x plus 3. This side stays the same. Our goal is to get y equals, so I'm going to do the opposite of minus 2 and add 2, making sure to add the 2 with the 3 because those are like terms. The 1/2 x is not a like term because it has x. Y equals 1/2 x plus 5. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the other method, the same problem. Y equals mx plus b. Y is 2 equals m times x plus b. We don't know b, so we're trying to find it. 1/2 times -6 is -3. The opposite of -3 is +3. So we get 5 equals b. And then our final answer would be to plug that b into y equals mx plus b. Our m is 1/2, b is 5. Got one more example for us to try. I'm going to write this up here. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. You will need to either remember this point slope form or y equals mx plus b, knowing that we're going to plug into those 3 spots. Here we would plug in these 3 spots. So again, this one's usually a little more complicated to set up, but it's less steps. This one's a little easier to set up, but it's more steps. So again, you just decide which method you like the best. Here we have our m, our x1, our y1. Plug it in. Y minus 5 equals -3 times x minus -1. So I'm going to turn that into a plus. Okay, over here we would do y equals m x plus b. Okay, on this side we have to distribute. We get -3x minus 3. On this side we multiply the -3 and -1 to get a +3. And the opposite of +3 would be to -3. And we get 2 equals b. Over here I'm going to add the 5. It's the opposite. Y equals -3x plus 2 when I combine those like terms. So y equals -3x plus 2. Here we have one more step. Y equals, go back and look at our slope, -3x plus our b, which is 2. So again, when you guys do these problems, you do not have to do both ways. You just pick which method makes sense to you. And from now on, you just use that one method. You do not have to do both ways.